Hey everybody. So today I want to talk about someone who I think is one of the most underrated players in the NHL, has really not gotten that much attention despite blossoming into one of the best two-way defensemen in the league over the last couple of seasons, and somebody that I think is kind of flying under the radar with just how good they have become, and that is the Vegas Golden Knights defenseman Shea Theodore. Shea Theodore is still just 25 years old, has room for improvement, room to get even better, and is becoming a Norris Trophy level defenseman before our very eyes. Now, I don't think he should win the Norris this season, but I do think he should be in the conversation, and I would not at all be surprised if he does win the Norris at some point in his career. He continues to get better. Over the past 2 seasons, he's put together spectacular years. He played incredibly well in the playoffs last year. This season, he set a new career high in assists, plus minus, and points per game. He's one of the top defensemen in the NHL. And again, I don't think that many people realize just how good Shea Theodore has become. So before we get fully into it, I just ask you to please subscribe and hit that thumbs up if you haven't. It helps the channel an absolute ton. Greatly, greatly appreciated. But let's take a look here at Shea Theodore's 2021 season. He's played 48 games this year. He has 8 goals, a career-high 34 assists, 42 points, and is plus 27 on the season. He gets it done at both ends of the ice. He's a great puck mover. He's got a good shot from the point, and he's playing really, really well defensively too, which is obviously very important if you're a defenseman. Something that I think kind of gets lost at times when you have these high-scoring D-men. They got to be able to play defense too, and Shea Theodore absolutely can do that. He is tied for 6th in the NHL this year among defensemen in points. He's tied with Dougie Hamilton with 42 right now. He's tied for 2nd among defensemen in the NHL in plus minus. The only defenseman with a higher plus minus than him is Darnell Nurse of the Edmonton Oilers. He is 3rd among defensemen in points per game this season at 0.88. The only 2 defensemen with more points per game than Shea Theodore this year, Cale Makar and Adam Fox. Shea Theodore is right up there with Cale Makar and Adam Fox as far as offensive output for a defenseman this year. And yeah, those guys get talked about all the time, and as they should, for being some of the best young defensemen in the NHL. Well, Shea Theodore is in that conversation as well because, like I said, he's still only 25. It's not like we're talking about John Carlson here or somebody who's well-established and into his 30s. Now, Shea Theodore is still just 25 years old. He set a new career high in assists this season with 34, and he is 4 points shy of tying his career high in points, which came last season with 46. However, last season he played 71 games. This season, he's only played 48, and with Vegas only having 5 games remaining, can only play 53 and could potentially match or break his career high in points, depending on how the rest of this season goes, in significantly less games, 18 less games than what he played last year, and he's still very close to his career high in points. So if you spread that out over a full season, he would have easily gotten his career high in points this year. Theodore deserves to be in the Norris conversation. Again, like I said, I don't think he's going to win it this year, and I don't think he should necessarily. I do think Adam Fox is a little bit ahead of Shea Theodore. However, people need to know the name Shea Theodore because he is becoming an elite defenseman at both ends of the ice in the NHL. His name deserves to be up there with the best guys in the league, like the Cale Makars, like the Adam Foxes, and he's still really young and still has a chance to get better. And I think he's better defensively than a guy like John Carlson. He may not put up the points that Carlson does, but he's better defensively, in my opinion. He's better defensively than a lot of the top scoring D-men in the league. And he has the offense to be top 5 or so in the league as well. in any given season. As far as scoring goes, like, this guy gets it done at both ends of the ice. Obviously, he plays on a really good team, but he is a main reason that Vegas is so good defensively. And his career has blossomed so much over the past couple seasons that, Anaheim has got to be kicking themselves for letting this guy go. I mean, Theodore was the guy that they got rid of, that they traded away so they could protect other defensemen. Shea Theodore was the guy that they should have kept. And, whether they could have let Fowler go, they could have let Manson go, they could have let, Lindholm go. Theodore is the best one out of all of them, and he's becoming one of the top D-men in the league. And I just think he's really flying under the radar. I don't think fans around the league realize how good Shea Theodore is. And I do think he is probably going to win a Norris Trophy at some point in his career. The way that he's played the past 2 seasons, the trajectory that he is on, over the next 3 to 4 years, I think Theodore will be a finalist for the Norris at some point, absolutely. And I think there's a good shot that he wins one. Now, obviously, there are some great defensemen around the league that will always be in that conversation. Victor Hedman and John Carlson, when you're looking at veteran guys, I think are always going to be in that Norris conversation. When you look at some of the young guys coming up, you've got obviously Adam Fox and Cale Makar leading the way as 2 of the best young defensemen that will always be in the Norris conversation. But I would throw Shea Theodore in at least in the conversation with any of those guys. And I think he's right up there. Definitely a top 10 D-man in the league right now. Honestly, I think he's a top 5 D-man in the league right now. And the numbers and the way that he's played this season, I think, proves that and supports that. And he's been absolutely phenomenal for the Vegas Golden Knights. This guy is blossoming into a legitimate number 1, a legitimate top guy, and somebody that I think is going to continue to still improve over the next couple of seasons. Like, these past 2 years have really been his breakout. I don't think we've seen peak Shea Theodore yet. I think he can get to the point where he's up maybe near 60 points a season. And if he keeps up the level of defensive play as well, while being a 60-point defenseman, you're looking at a Norris Trophy level player at that point easily. And I'm just really excited to see where his career goes from here. But I wanted to talk about Shea Theodore. I wanted to point this out because this is a guy that I think is one of the most underrated players in the game. He should be in the Norris conversation. I think he's going to win a Norris, like I said, at some point, and he continues to improve and get better for Vegas and continues to grow his game into becoming one of the top guys in the league. And he's a player that every single person who watches the NHL should know about and should realize how great he's becoming, because we are seeing it right before our very eyes, him grow into being one of the top guys in the league. So with that, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon, merchandise store, donation link, and channel memberships are down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.